Woo!
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dribble Me Softly podcast, the podcast that you didn't know that you need to know. How are you both?
I'm good.
Mate. Oh, sorry.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to be back.
Whoa.
Stru's back.
We haven't heard this voice in our ears for a little while.
Stru is back.
I know.
I feel like a born-again podcaster now.
You
Fuck
are.
yeah. Did you miss it?
I did actually, yeah. I did.
And more importantly, how was the trip?
Trip was great.
Yeah?
Trip was great. I'd do it all again.
You're going to tell the fans that you're sorry you haven't answered their fan mail yet? There's a whole sack full.
The PO box is overflowing.
It is. Going to get charged by the Oz Post if we're not careful.
And plenty of rice and curry to go around.
Oh, too much.
Fuck, I'm jelly, man.
Too much.
On that note, what's on today's episode?
Quite a bit to get through. Firstly, it's good to have you back, Stru. Not going to lie. Bayer Leverkusen is where we're going to start today, because what they did was they set an all-time record.
Are we talking about other stuff as well?
Yeah. We'll talk about other stuff too. The Carabao Cup final happened over the night. That was very exciting if you're a Liverpool fan, because kids beat $1 billion squad. Back in the Prem, Fulham bloody beat United. How good is that? There's a few more games that we'll cover in the Premier League as well. And then to round up, Debate Me Softly.
Cool. All that and more next. So guys, what do you reckon it'd feel like to go 33 games in all competitions unbeaten? Do you know who we're talking about?
Heck yeah. Stru?
I think so.
It's
Our man
Leverkusen.
our man Granite Xhaka.
What about him?
Oh, he's just the main reason they've gone 33 undefeated, I reckon.
You reckon? It was that signing that did it?
Yeah.
It's all him. It's carrying him.
You reckon?
Yeah, Lonzo's a fraud.
Nothing to do with Frimpong or Grimaldo? No?
Nah, they've fluked it.
No, they
They're
fluked it.
They're terrible to watch. Don't know how they've done it.
It's been a 33-game fluke. So just for the listeners, what are we talking about, Ben?
Talking about by a ridiculous run.
Yes.
Like, how fucking outrageous is it? And they play
Insane.
lovely football.
Insanely beautiful football, and it's been 33 games undefeated.
Do you know what we haven't talked about? Well, it's been since the last pod, what they did to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, that's right.
True.
Tore them apart. Yeah.
Ripped them apart.
Yeah, 3-0. Gave them a good spanking, didn't they?
They did.
But they didn't just do that, because to your point, they played amazing football. Bayern couldn't touch him, Ben. So Alonso's got him playing a 3-4-2-1, and the way that he uses those wing backs, I think we've spoken about it before, is just something to behold, right? How does it happen? Because he's only been in the job for a year. It's not even been a year. This is his first season in the job.
No, I know. You could have said it as like a system, couldn't you? A bit like,
Yeah.
The shock of, similarly to what Arsenal did start of last season, caught people off guard playing a certain way, but I don't know, they've adapted. They've sustained it. They lost people to African Cup.
Yeah.
They lost Boniface to injury.
Yeah.
Mm.
They're just amazing.
They're cooking.
Yeah, they keep getting it done. Earlier in the season, they were winning a lot of games by bigger margins, but they still are now. But they're getting there. Some of the games they're just scraping through right at the death, 3-2s, 2-1s, and I think even the first game against Bayern, it was a draw.
Yeah.
So,
And you talk about these late winners, because there's been a few in recent weeks, Drew, there has been. But it just shows the mentality, right? That the manager's instilled, which is basically you go the whole 90 into additional time as well, and you're always trying to get a goal. And that's the thing with Bayern. They play very attacking football. They like to keep the ball in the opponent's half of the field most of the time. And their three centre-backs just sit basically on the halfway line. And all the play happens in this side of the field as they make their way towards the goal. Even the pressing. Everything is done in that phase of the field. And the cool thing is, just by watching videos and just watching him, like Xabi Alonso's in-game tactical management, it's so far beyond his years as a manager.
mm-hmm.
It blows the mind.
That's where he played as well. He just looked so mature, even when he was in his younger years.
100%. Yeah, him as a baby face of Liverpool just played beautiful football.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. So, all right, I got a couple of questions for you. First question is, can they go invincible?
Why not?
Fair enough.
Invincible, do you mean just every competition, or do we go in league?
So let's go with the league. Actually, let's go with both. Obviously, they're still in the German Cup. They're still in the Europa League, and they're top of the league of the Bundesliga. There's a chance that they could go win the whole thing and remain invincible. Do you think it could happen?
I don't know. When's the pressure going to get to him? Because I think we looked at this like a month or so ago and we looked at the fixtures and thought Bayern had a harder short-term run and they've crumbled under pressure. What, they lost 3 games in a week? Tuchel lost his job. Shouldn't laugh at that. It's not funny. I don't see why not. Like, their schedule's doable. Does it make you wonder what it would be like if they have a deep run in Europa League, though? If that will that have a knock-on effect?
It depends on how far advanced they are in the Bundesliga, right? Because I think now they've got an 8-point lead on Bayern Munich.
Yep.
Okay. So if they've got that gap, then what's to say that they don't go and then put all their efforts into winning the Europa League? If the title's already wrapped up by the semi-finals, then sure, they're going to go for it.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're already through round of 16. They play both legs against Karabag.
Yeah.
So you'd think that they'd pick up wins in both or a draw and a win to go through.
How dare you say that about Karabag?
Poor Karabag. First in the Azerbaijan League they are.
Juggernauts.
Juggernauts of Azerbaijan.
It's probably still beat Ajax.
And then
Jordan Henderson's Ajax. Don't talk ill of him.
can't even get on the pitch.
I know.
No.
It's quite funny. It's quite funny.
Send him back.
Okay, so Stru, what do you reckon? Do you reckon they can go undefeated, and do you reckon they can go invincible, and do you reckon they can go win all the trophies?
I definitely think it's possible, but I don't think they will. I think they'll drop a game in the Bundesliga by the end of the season. I feel like they will. Like it's
so hard to do, isn't it?
And the pressure, the pressure gets to you. It will get to you, especially you'd be thinking they're in the last 8 of the Europa.
Mm-hmm.
Then they've also got to play the final of the DFB.
Yep.
If they beat Dusseldorf in the semi.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 9 games left.
Yeah.
In the Bundesliga.
And who's in the other side of the German Cup?
I'm not entirely sure.
Let's have a look.
It's kind of it's spaced out a little bit. It's not. They haven't got to play as many games as Spain or Italy or England.
And like I said, if they've got that gap on Bayern Munich, then they can force their efforts into the other competitions, you know? Because I think the way that, and I hope it happens, the way that it's lining up, it could well be a Liverpool versus Bayer Leverkusen Europa League final.
Jeez.
That'd be mental.
And what a game that would be.
That'd be insane.
That's talking Champions League final quality, not the name of the teams that are playing, the teams that are actually playing.
Yeah.
It's insane.
They've only conceded 16 goals in the league as well.
That's incredible too.
That is another feat.
And they've scored like 59 or something.
So it's not the fact that they're just scoring
Yeah.
goals, it's the way that they're also defending. It's ridiculous.
I think they've scored like 90. I don't know if this is right. They've scored like 90 goals in all competitions or close to something like that.
So I believe that as it stands, they're second to Liverpool in top 5 leagues around Europe. I think the top 3 were Liverpool, Bayer Leverkusen, and Man City for goals scored this season.
That would make sense.
What total goals scored in all comps?
In all comps this season.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It just goes to show that they're playing with the big boys, as one would say, which is incredible testament to Bayer Leverkusen and incredible testament to the manager.
Oh, 100%.
So those are the questions I had for you. The third question that I have for you is, if he does come to the Premier League, does he just go into elite manager level competing for the Premier League, or do you think there'll be a struggle like we've seen with other managers who's come to the Premier League in the past? I think the only one who really hasn't gone through a struggle is Pep. I mean, he didn't win it in his first season, but then look what he's gone and done since. What do you reckon? Does he just come in and turn it on, or what?
Depends if FSG give him the checkbook for Granit Xhaka.
I think Granit's coming in as assistant, mate.
Imagine that. I would hate to see Granit Xhaka thrive at another Premier League club.
Especially if it's Liverpool.
Yeah, anyone for that matter, to be honest. Because like we, as fans, I think I could speak for most of them, didn't really appreciate him for... I mean, he didn't do himself many favours, but last season he had was really good for us. But I don't know. Xabi Alonso?
I put it down to he's the reason that Arsenal didn't win the league. Because of that moment with Trent.
At Liverpool,
Because of that moment with Trent. Because that was the moment that changed everything.
I did agree with that, but then I changed my mind.
That wasn't it. You'd find something else would have happened that game to fire up. There's a crowd
if
just gets
Arsenal
involved.
get 3 points at Anfield, they go on to win the league. The reason that they did not get the 3 points at Anfield is because of that moment between Xhaka and Trent. Because the moment that situation happened, the crowd got into it and the game changed completely, Ben.
No.
We still lost 2 games against West Ham. Southampton.
It wasn't even that.
But those were preceding games.
Yeah, the Saliba thing was just killed it for us. It is what it is.
Big injury,
honestly, it wasn't that moment.
Yeah,
Like,
fair enough. In my belief, I think that is the moment that changed your season.
This is the reason why I struggled.
Because you guys were choking us at Anfield. You were. You were choking us.
But we do that. This is the horrible thing, and it's why it's painful being an Arsenal fan, is you get built up and you have moments like that, and then it gets taken away.
Yeah, but think about why it got taken away. Because of a single moment. Because before that, the crowd wasn't in that game, Ben.
Nah.
Anfield were quiet because Arsenal were choking, honestly.
There was so much... there's so much time in that game to go.
That's
true.
You would have found something to go. And at half time, you would have had a Klopp out doing fist pumps, the fucking Klopp, and getting G'd up. And the pressure would have come on.
Yeah.
I think it was just a matter of, I think we just buckled. It's not the...
We did buckle, yeah.
You did buckle in the end. I agree with that, yeah.
And I think it was just something in a game, I think it's just sometimes we don't have a good record at Anfield.
Yeah.
And then it's the same thing happened, the penalty at West Ham game later.
Yeah.
Fucking cruising. Again, choking them and then choked.
Yeah.
Choked on ourselves. Don't know how you want to do that. It might be Marilyn Manson or something. But,
God damn.
Just got X-rated on the pod.
Anyways.
I don't know how Liverpool's current team suits Alonso's playing style, but you never know if he can adapt or not. He changed a lot from when he came in halfway through last season. So.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. A lot of talk has been around Jurgen, obviously, since the announcement that he's no longer going to be the manager of Liverpool. The thing that really kind of strikes me is everyone saying who's going to replace Klopp, because I don't think that's possible. Because I don't think the club should go looking for somebody to replace Jurgen. They need to bring somebody in who's going to be themselves, who's going to bring their own style of football, their own backroom staff, all of that, and transform the club into that style.
I'm totally with you on that logic. I think that's totally fair. You're not going to find someone to run through brick walls like he's done, which is why I'm intrigued, because there's the same thing as the Carabao Cup. Like, how the fuck he set a fire underneath those kids? They came on and play like they're going to die.
Yeah, I think it's a great segue into talking about the Carabao Cup final, because what a game it was. What a game it was.
Did Stru, have you seen the VAR masterclass yet?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
So, yeah, unfortunately, a game like that, it's now going to be taken by VAR drama, because VAR always likes to steal the show. But the game should really be reflected for what it was, which was...
Chaos,
but a Liverpool team filled with academy kids versus a team that was made up of superstars, $1 billion squad.
What was Gary Neville's quote?
Please.
The $1 billion blue Bottlejobs or something like that.
Something like that.
$1 billion
Jurgen's
Bottlejobs.
kids versus...
And that's what it was. Like, sure, there were a few first teamers who did start the game, but there was an entire 11 who didn't start the game. Yeah? So
look how inexperienced that Chelsea side is at the same time, though. Minus Enzo winning the World Cup. Sterling, okay, old. But
Ben, a midfield of Enzo, Caicedo, and Gallagher should absolutely cook a midfield of McAllister, Endo, and Harvey Elliott.
Because Gravenberch before he died.
Yeah, before he died. But think about it. And it got to the point where we had to replace Connor Bradley, who was our right back, who went and played right wing until he got substituted off the field. This is the magnitude of the crisis that the team's in. But to your point, he lit a fire under the belly of these kids, and they went and put on a show.
Yeah, they took it. They took the opportunity.
And they fucking won. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
I'd honestly think if he doesn't go and you have someone in as a transition who takes the usual flack, do you know what I mean, and has to deal with the frustration of change, then he comes in, I think he really has the opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that's a less riskier way of doing it.
I think given the fact that Xabi Alonso already has a relationship with the club is the key difference, because with Liverpool managers, like, for whatever reason, I mean, I can't speak for him because I never live in the city, but the city like to almost put that person up on a pedestal. We're seeing it, Bill Shankly, Bob Paisley, Kenny Dalglish, Jurgen Klopp. Godlike figures.
Roy Hodgson.
Shut up. Godlike, yeah, it's like, in all seriousness, they're like godlike figures, but the club can't go and replace a god. I don't know if my point's trying to be, if I'm making my point, if it's actually coming across. But you can't replace him. You've got to go find someone else, someone who's going to do something different, who's going to bring something different to the club. Same reason why it's the same reason why Moyes failed after Fergie, because Moyes was coming in to do the Fergie job. You can't replace Fergie after how long he's been in the role. Same reason with Wenger and Emery. It's the same thing.
Oh, the club was fucked anyway.
Well, Emery was set up for failure.
Yeah.
He was. And now Emery would kill it at Arsenal.
Potentially.
He'd kill it at Arsenal. Because he's doing an absolute job with a lower budget squad at Villa.
He wouldn't be able to bring set piece FC in Tetter's.
But just
Sorry,
before,
it's not even like Tetter, it's Yova. It's Nicholas Yova runs the show.
just before we do move away from the Carabao Cup, there was so many moments of controversy. So we'll start with the Nicholas Jackson offside. What were your thoughts?
It was stupid.
In what way?
Well, the angle, how can you tell? Honestly, I've listened to so many different pundits today and podcasts on this. We're going to such an effort to cancel stuff. Do you know what I mean? You said it in our text chain, coin flip.
Yeah, it's a 50-50. And what I also said was that if the linesman didn't put his flag up, then you can't cry the fact that it's not given.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 and the linesman saw that the player was offside, and at the end of the day, if the camera isn't in the right spot, the linesman was in that moment. And what better than the human eye?
Yeah, it's eroded their powers actually, hasn't it, really?
It has,
There's no trust.
What's the point of having the linesman if you're just going to check anyways? Like, you've got to put a little bit of trust in the linesman. And where technology has failed us, in which it has for this particular instance, because there wasn't a great camera angle, you've got to go back to what the linesman said.
Which is kind of weird because we're in the age of slow-mo makes everything look worse.
Yep.
Or trying to overanalyze or find problems or discrepancies with football. But then if you want to lead on to the next part of that challenge from Caicedo to Gravenberch,
yep.
How is that not a card at least?
That's the thing. In the first half, there was at least 5 or 6 fouls that Caicedo had, and not one of them was given a yellow card. There was a moment in the second half where Connor Bradley and Ben Chilwell were scuffing, and Ben Chilwell literally picks him up and like has a go, and then all Connor Bradley does is push the man back. But they both get yellow cards. So what that means is that little scuffle between them is worse than injuring Gravenberch, which is what happened. I always come back to this, and it's funny that I do. But that Tottenham game with Liverpool, where Curtis Jones got the red card, because they slowed it down, and when you slow it down, it stops at a really bad point. What's the difference? When you slowed this down and you look at where the contact was made, it was in a horrible spot, red card worthy spot.
Someone made a plea, I don't know if it's Poch, I'm trying to look it up, to say don't give Liverpool the benefit of the doubt just because it's Klopp's farewell tour. Have you seen those comments?
I didn't see that.
But in what way, in what world did Liverpool get the benefit of the doubt in any situation in that game? Every single thing, the referee...
Yeah, but that's what he's trying to say.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Because of
They're
what they
overlooking.
said, they've gone past and gone the other way.
Because this was ridiculous. Like, this was almost like everything needed... Like, they were trying everything to screw him. And thank God that we won, because it was Virgil van Dijk who scored in the 118th minute. And what a header it was, right?
Well, his second attempt.
Well, exactly. It should have been 2-0. It should have been 2 goals to Virgil, and the game should have ended. Actually, it should have ended at 1-0 at the 90th. It shouldn't have needed to go to extra time.
It was a nice glancing header, wasn't it?
It was beautiful.
There were so many Chelsea players around him.
Yeah.
There was like 5 and there was no other Liverpool players there.
And just the other one, Keller had amazing... Actually, even Petrovic had an amazing day in goals.
Yeah.
Both the keepers played amazing. Like, they were stopping everything. Nothing was going into the back of that net.
I don't think anyone could have disagreed if either team had won and taken their chances.
Yeah, because there was also...
It was just chaos.
Both teams hit the woodwork,
Yeah.
Ben as well. So, a crazy game of football. But in the end, the kids beat the $1 billion squad.
And do you keep Poch around or not? If you are Moneybags, Bowley.
I don't think Poch is the problem, but they can't get rid of their squad.
The funny thing
They
is,
can't.
like, in the 90 minutes, Chelsea played a very good game yesterday. But
Yeah.
for whatever reason, as soon as it was extra time, he parked the bus. And it just allowed the kids to just run. And they constantly peppered the goal for the entire 30 minutes of extra time.
His bum went.
Why would you do that? Knowing that the kids are on the field, as if that's not the time to press, and push forward and try and get a goal. But instead, he just parks.
Just wanted to go to pens, maybe.
Which is so interesting because we were almost 3 minutes away from the third Liverpool versus Chelsea cup final, which would have gone to penalties.
Do you reckon, though, if you see Liverpool's goalkeeper in form like that, because he made some like
Insane
really good saves.
Like Alisson quality saves.
But that's the thing. Like if you're the opposing manager or the opposing team and you're seeing this guy is having the game of his life, would you like? And your manager's like, oh, okay, then we're going to sit back and just wait for penalties. You'd be a bit like, the fuck.
Yeah, that's probably not the right thing to do if keepers having a game.
Well, that's the thing, and especially if they've already created opportunities. Gallagher going through on goal, I don't know why he took the extra touch.
Yeah, he shouldn't have taken that extra touch.
They were creating opportunities as well.
They were,
they?
and that's what I said. Poch, he didn't necessarily have a bad game, except till it went to extra time and he parked the bus and just invited the pressure, which eventually took its toll. 118th minute, it was a set piece, but still,
just there's so much inexperience in that team all over. It's kind of just who's gonna pick them up. There's not the fine balance. I can't see Chelsea kicking on quickly. They show it in like fits and starts where they can turn up somewhere and be really organised.
Yeah.
But then they just don't have the consistency, or when things go against them, when it falls apart quickly.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. And I think we only played Chelsea in the Premier League a few weeks ago and we tore them apart at Anfield. It was 4-1. But this was a very different Chelsea team, even though we still beat them in the end.
It's been the story of the season, hasn't it? Because we keep saying this, they have a good result against someone, we're like, they're back.
But this is off the back of a good result against City. So doing it against Liverpool and then City 2 weeks in a row is no easy feat.
Well, I did text you, didn't I, saying I have a feeling Liverpool win it.
You did, yeah.
So I'm going to take that.
You did. And I was negative Nancy the whole time because I looked at the squad and I was just like, geez, how the hell are we going to get past this Chelsea team?
Now the history of the Chelsea.
History of the Chelsea.
History of the Tottenham. I guess, look, it makes sense. Look at their manager. He's a bottle job. No, Poch is actually a good manager.
Is he? Is he? Is he?
Poch is a good manager.
But is he an elite manager?
No,
I don't think you can say he's elite. He's never won anything. Has he won? He's won French league, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Oh no, not the French league. Fucking hell! Pump the brakes.
Who would you consider more of an elite manager, Emery or Pochettino?
Oh, mate. Roy Hodgson. Straight question. Come on, it's got to be Emery.
He's got 30,
only because
he's got 4 actually Europas.
His pedigree in the Europa League, yeah.
Fuck.
4 Europas is insane.
Yeah.
4 Europas is insane.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievable.
1 Europa you can say, it's Europa, but 4...
That's his comp.
Yeah.
Well, he even took us Bottlejobs to the fucking final before we crumbled.
Yeah.
So
exactly, yeah.
To who?
Right.
Chelsea.
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 I think that was Hazard's final game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Before he went to flopped at Madrid.
Well, the other thing to note as well before we move on is how many cup finals in a row, domestic cup finals in a row, have Chelsea now lost?
6.
Correct.
Really?
6.
Wow.
6 cup finals in a row. I know that three of them have gone to penalties.
Still losing. Still no trophy.
Was one of them us? FA Cup?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was Man City. It was Arsenal. It was Leicester. It was Liverpool.
I forgot they lost to Leicester
twice, and now a third time.
Liverpool 3 in a row.
Which is the 6th.
Oofed.
Tough times. It's a fun little stat, Ben.
I know. When I saw that come across earlier, I was really shocked. But then the memes have been fantastic today.
Yeah.
They've been really good.
You got to love the internet.
I know.
It's fantastic.
As long as it's not Arsenal losing to Porto, because that was fucking horrible.
Let's not go there.
We are going to go there. We have to go there.
Maybe we'll tease the next segment, but maybe let's not go full dissecting Arsenal in the Champions League. We'll save that for the Debate Me Softly. But it would be good to talk about the Prem, because lots happened.
Yep.
But do you want to talk about progress being halted for our friends in the Manchester region who had gone 5 games on the bounce?
Did they really before Fulham tore them?
Oh, no. Spoiler alert. What happened?
I didn't get that one. Really?
Yeah.
Jeez. 5 on the bounce.
Yeah, they had no Højlund, though.
Okay. And why not?
He's injured. He's got
And he was
muscle
in
injury.
form too.
Yeah, he was looking
He'd been
to
scoring goals.
Yep. He was looking to score 6 in a row in the Prem.
Yep.
Came to an end.
And the final result was?
It's 2-1, wasn't it?
2-1.
Thanks to?
Alex
Oh,
Iwobi.
Ooh.
It's a very nice finish.
He missed a couple chances too.
He
He probably
did.
could have had 2 or 3 goals in the game.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah.
But what a way to finish. Huh?
Yeah, beautiful. I
At
would have
Old Trafford too.
And did you see? And fair enough, like it happens. But did you see the way they were celebrating the draw? Like when Harry Maguire scored,
yeah.
they went
yeah.
nuts, man.
They were losing.
I mean,
it.
like you do as fans get excited when you peg one back, but
We didn't see the Gary Neville celebration police come out for that though, did we?
yeah,
very true.
It's so. I'm so glad that Iwobi scored because United, as of late, have been getting some really late results. If it's a winner or an equaliser, it's been happening really late, and a lot of the time it's Scott McTominay. So it's also nice to see someone who isn't Scott McTominay on the score sheet. Up Harry Maguire.
It's his parting gift. It's over for him soon.
Is he done with the club?
Oh, God knows what's going to happen. What's his name? So Jim Radcliffe seems to be on a mission though, doesn't he, to sort stuff out?
He seems to be on a mission to, and I quote, take Liverpool and Man City off their perch, unquote.
Yeah, but I know it's like...
Mate, come up with something original firstly.
yeah, well, maybe him and Ten Hag are quite well suited then, aren't they? When they make rash comments like that and stuff falls apart. But they are going after... You've seen they have to pay out the Newcastle director. They're going after him now.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, if not, I think he'd have to go on gardening leave for 2 years or something like that. Which obviously you're not going to do. You want to buy him out, don't you? So
United are slowly trying to assemble the Avengers, aren't they? Just one by one.
Well, they are. They've been told
Just
for a
front money.
long time
Yeah.
they're rotten from the top down. So I guess that's where
They're
they're
rotten
starting.
from the top down. They're rotten from the grassroots all the way up. They're just
They're starting where they should be.
they're just a
I
rotten
think,
as club.
for a team that needs sustained success. They need it too. It's such a big club like United.
Glory, glory, Man United.
Fuck
Stru.
that shit. I don't wanna hear that.
do you know what has helped Man United in recent weeks though?
Yeah.
The fidget spinner has not been starting.
Is that right?
yeah, he's not getting a look in at the moment.
I saw a clip of him somewhere. It was like a reel of him playing like a futsal game. Did you? Maybe
Nah.
you sent it.
Oh, wait.
He just gets turned inside out. It's hilarious.
He's such a knob.
The fidget spinner.
Is
I'm
he
glad
the
we don't
worst
even
transfer
mention his
in
name.
Premier League? Actually, is he the worst transfer in the history of football, guys?
Probably you could
'Cause
probably
he-
find
he
someone
cost
else.
how much?
80 mil, wasn't it?
Yeah.
80 mil pounds or
Yeah.
Did you know Luka Modric was voted the worst transfer in La Liga?
He was
the first
in
season he was
2012.
there? Yeah.
When he
Was he
first got
really?
transferred from Tottenham.
Yeah. How about making people eat their...
Eat their
Oh,
words.
I
Yeah,
know.
100%. What
Far
about
out.
being the person who stopped the dynasty of Messi and Ronaldo winning the Ballon d'Or?
correct?
It was fucking Luka Modric.
Yeah.
I know.
And that's what he did
Mate.
in Croatian shirt too.
So there's hope for Anthony.
Is there?
Please
Fuck
do
no.
not disrespect Luka Modric by putting him in the same sentence as that fidget spinner, please.
Modric is still going too.
Yeah, but I think his time is now going to be up. I don't think the contract is
38
being
years
renewed.
old. Yeah.
If we if we just want to have a little look though, the impact of that loss of United, because you see Villa,
Yes, I did see Villa. Big
4-2.
result for them this morning.
yeah, cruised along, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Ollie Watkins back in the goals.
And closing the gap.
Well, United are now 8 points behind Villa.
Yeah.
Same games played. 6 points between Arsenal in third. Sorry, the wrong team name. Set Piece FC.
It's getting tight at the top. I like that.
Let's have a quick look at the top because there's only 2 points to separate 1 and 3.
Liverpool sit on 60.
Correct. Man City 59 and Arsenal 58. Now, the very interesting thing is there's only one goal that separates the goal difference between Arsenal and Liverpool.
Correct.
Plus 39, plus 38.
It's because Arsenal set the record, didn't they? 25 goals in five games or something like that. No, not that many. No.
In 3 games. It was
3
like
games.
25 goals and like 3 conceded or some ridiculous stat like that. Some really inexorbitantly low number.
Keep wondering when it's going to end, but we're doing it both ways at the moment. Does help when you've got a couple of teams that just completely fold, like Newcastle.
This is definitely the most exciting title race in Premier League history. Because this is the first time that there's actually 3 genuine title contenders.
But we still have to play Chelsea, City, Spurs, United.
Chelsea's at home, isn't it?
Chelsea's at home, City away,
Spurs away.
So,
Villa away as well.
Man United away.
Guys,
no, Villa
Wolves-
at home.
Oh, sorry, Villa
at
at home, Wolves away. Spurs away, United away.
so I did a bit of pre-work just on this, guys, just looking at the next few fixtures. And out of all 3 teams, Man City have the hardest run in now. Because they have, in their next few fixtures, after playing Luton in the 5th round of the FA Cup, they've got the Derby, they've got United. Straight after that, they've got Liverpool. Straight after that, they've got Brighton. Straight after that, they've got Arsenal.
Yeah.
And then Villa.
And straight after that, they've got Villa.
Do you know what? Honestly, I was been thinking about this the last 2 days. If Liverpool survived this fucking plague that has come over the club in terms of injuries, it just seems to be written.
That's what you'd said before. Yeah,
we just need to get to March 11 because that's the day that the title gets decided, in my opinion. Because if we beat them at Anfield, then I honestly think we're going to go the whole way. But if they beat us, then I think it's theirs.
You reckon?
I honestly think so, yeah. I think that's what's going to decide it. That is, obviously, we're hoping that we're going to get players back from injury. I think Mo's very close to coming back. I think Dom Szoboszlai is very close to coming back. Nunes as well. I know Jota's out for a while. Ali's going to be out for a while. Ali's going to miss the game against City, so it's going to be Kelleher in goals.
What on earth did Alisson do?
Hammy.
Oh.
So he tweaked it last year. He was meant to be out for not an extended period of time, about a month, but he came back after 2 weeks, and then I think he's rejigged, and now he's out for at least until sometime in March. Out of all the teams, the hardest run-in is by far Man City, but in saying that, it's also Man City. Right? So 12 games left each. At this point, guys, put your biases aside. Who are you taking to win the Premier League?
I'd say City still.
I'd still say City edges it. I think then it's Liverpool.
That's fine because I actually agree with you.
I'd say experience gets them through.
Yeah, I think, if I put my bias and my love towards my team aside, I honestly think City are doing it.
They're just getting it done, aren't they? Like, even the win against Bournemouth.
They just know how to win, Ben.
Yeah, Brentford.
Even if it's a 1-0, they'll get it done. You know?
And you say, like, they have a derby, but, like, when's the last time they just pump United every time they play them?
True. I mean, all they had Pep's number, I'm not going to lie, but Ten Hag's got no fucking idea.
Yeah. I mean, will it depend if they go deep in Champions League? It didn't last.
So at this point in time, you guys are out of, obviously, the Carabao Cup. You're out of the FA Cup. You're now looking at the Premier League and the Champions League. If you could forego one to lift the other, which one would you take today?
Champions League. I'd take the Prem.
Yeah, I'd take the Prem.
100%.
Wow. Both of you would take the Prem.
Yeah,
I'd take the Prem.
I want the Prem whilst Pep and Klopp are in the league and the teams are actually like this.
Because then you can say that you did it over them.
It'd mean more.
I get it. I get it. But Arsenal Football Club have also never won the Champions League.
Correct.
And this is by far like your best chance of winning the Champions League.
To date.
In terms of the other teams in the competition and where you sit in terms of the strength of the squad. Because I honestly think there's only two teams better in the Champions League left than Arsenal.
Like Madrid and City?
Yeah, and I think Arsenal are third in that list.
I just don't know what you're going to get.
No, that's the issue.
Yeah, when they play, when they want to play and they suffocate teams. Like there's a bit more, I don't know, especially the last few games, minus the Porto one. I don't know, there's a bit more of the last year about us.
The Porto one's a bit of a blimp, right?
Yeah.
Because you're coming off the back of so many good games. Since the Liverpool game, you guys have been untouchable.
Well, just got undone by the mid block and the flopping around really, and the nerves. That was a nervy, inexperienced performance.
Also, it's just funny because when it comes to the Champions League and Arsenal, there's just no relationship. As I said, Arsenal do not have European pedigree. I said it to you guys in the chat, I think.
We don't.
Yeah, it's just funny. Your team should go and I know it was in Portugal, but you should go and beat Porto.
That's the inexperienced part, isn't it?
Yeah.
The bums go.
But in saying that, in the reverse fixture, you guys are going to choke them and you're going to go score 4 or 5 goals.
But the issue is Arsenal, when the pressure's on, they just fucking turn their backs, bro.
Well, not the Liverpool game though. The Liverpool game was like backs against the wall. And that needed to, that was over if not. That was a cup final to Arsenal, that game.
But you guys put a lot more pressure on that game than you need to because of Arteta's obsession with Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Like he's obsessed with the football club and beating us. Like we saw it in the documentary. Name another manager who is that crazy to go and play You Never Walk Alone while your team's training.
That was stupid.
Like it is the epitome of he's obsessed.
I think that some of that's just for TV though, mate.
It might well be, Ben. Yeah. It might well be, but it's still, look how stupid it looks. And then he's sitting there and he's talking about that one night that he played at Anfield and about how everything turned around and turned on him and he'd never let that go. And he hasn't let that go.
No, I wouldn't read too much into it because TV, it's like watching Drives to Survive. It's all dramatized.
I also don't think he's that. I think he learnt from that too.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that crazy about it now. There would definitely not be like Anfield music at fucking training before a Liverpool game these days.
Yeah, it's just,
because he got it wrong. He got it totally wrong that game.
Yeah, he did.
He made the players like more scared than they should have been, and they went there and got battered.
He's putting so much pressure on that fixture, like too much. It doesn't need to be.
Yeah, I think he is still like obviously early in his managerial career, and he's still evolving as a manager. So he's probably learning from some of that dumb shit he did. But
what do you reckon Arteta would take out of the two, the Premier League or the Champions League,
that's a great question, but I don't know.
or
You'd
just
take
or more
both,
generally
right,
the
wouldn't
football
you?
club?
I'm not being funny. If it was I was a manager, I'd want it the Premier League for the legacy, like not the legacy, the debate part. Like I beat Klopp with a fucking team that's decent. I beat Pep with his machine there. Yeah, and I did it my way. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I would see it. Because like, there's no other time. Klopp's leaving now, so for me, I'd be like, I'd be upset that I didn't win, but I've got next year.
Yeah,
but no, I don't have next year. That'd be my motivation.
it's a great way to look at it.
Yeah,
to be honest
that's a
with
good
you.
way to look at it.
But we need Odegaard to continue to hum along. He's playing unreal.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on with Havertz and Trossard, but it seems to work.
I heard some Dubai summer camp that the team went to.
Yeah.
And they went and fixed up a lot of things, and I think we're seeing the results of that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, were you seeing what? Odegaard dropped deeper, Ben White played the inverted role, Kiwior has come along.
Havertz learned his role in the team.
They put him up top and just let him pull people around.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he did in that Liverpool fixture. He drew the defence out.
Well, the nice thing about
gave
watching
that space to Odegaard.
the Newcastle game is, I know like I take the piss and say WWEFC, but they do like to rough us up, especially. In this game, the first like 20 minutes, we're fucking giving it back, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's like you're kind of watching boys become men and set the tone.
Yeah.
It's just if they can sustain that, because you've got people within Liverpool and Man City like Rodri, Van Dijk, you know, they're enforcers. They're gonna come through you.
Wataru Endo.
And even him.
Wataru Endo.
Well, I need to walk back some comments from earlier on.
I think the whole motherfucking world needs to, man. Because Wataru Endo is absolutely showing his worth. Man, he's been killing it. It's crazy.
It's going to be so interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very tight race.
That's for damn sure. I couldn't agree more. I'm so excited to see how it goes. But yeah, if I had to say today who was going to win it, I honestly think it's still City.
You know what's crazy? Well, not crazy. What scares me a little bit, we play Everton in the last game. And we always fucking lose to
Is it
Everton.
away?
No, it's at home.
Okay.
So we've got Liverpool have Wolves home, right? So that's Jurgen's last game in the Premier League. It probably won't be his last game because hopefully we'll get to the Europa League final, and that would be.
Oh, yeah. I saw the tickets behind his seat is like £38,000.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
exactly right. £38,000. There's VIP boxes going for £75,000. I think the top, right at the top, Ben, like of the new stadium, right, the new stand, sorry, tickets are going for like £12,000 pounds.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's crazy. But just think about what an event that's going to be.
They're being resold though, aren't they? It's not the club,
It's all done by
I was gonna
something
say-
called StubHub. Have you heard of it?
Yeah. God, it's lovely to get price gouged by StubHub.
Shout out to StubHub if you're listening.
Yeah, making bank.
Yeah, come support us. Dribble Me Softly.
It's going to be intense. I was going to say we could touch on some other stuff, but there's nothing much going on in Italy other than Inter smashing everyone.
Yep.
They won 4-0. Madrid.
Tearing now. I think they're going to win the league very comfortably.
Quick one. Since we abused Barca and did a whole debate on if Xavi should be there or not, guess where they lie in the table now?
Up to second. They're still a little bit off. They're 8 points behind Madrid. But
It's sad to see Girona take that fall from grace, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, they play tomorrow morning, so they could go back to second, to be honest, if they pick up a win. To be honest, even if they draw, they'll go level with Barca as well.
That 4-0 kind of just took all the momentum out of their train, eh?
Yeah, Ancelotti's comments afterwards didn't really help either, did it? Kind of saying, we're hoping for a bit more of a game. Give us a
Fucking
challenge.
Is there some talk about
Carlo.
some controversy if they make the Champions League?
Yeah, because they're
Because
owned by
of City? Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Same with Nice and United, but don't need to worry about that now, do we?
Nice, is it? I thought it was Lyon. No, it is Nice, isn't
That's
it?
Nice. Yeah, Nice is nice.
Yep, Nice is beautiful.
It is.
It's so lovely. But yeah, I think that's it. We can wrap it up there, and we'll be back in a sec to debate softly, huh, guys? Excited?
Keen.
Brilliant. We'll be back. Okay, we're back. Stru, do you remember what Debate Me Softly is? Or
It's been a while.
It's been a while, eh? Well, it's time for Debate Me Softly. We've only got the one question today, lads, but it is a pretty good one. So we are now well and truly into knockout phase Champions League football. So my question to the both of you is that the Champions League knockout games just don't feel the same without the away goal rule. What do you reckon, boys?
I agree. I loved the away goal rule.
So just before we get into it, can you quickly, one of you, give a quick debrief on what the away goal rule actually was?
Over to you, sir.
I don't know if I'll do a great job explaining it, but pretty much I'll do a terrible job of explaining it.
Just try.
No, I can tell you what it is. I can't explain the gist of it.
So essentially, in the Champions League knockout stage, there's a home leg and an away leg.
Correct.
So you play your home game, you play your away game. Now, when you play in your away game, one goal technically constitutes as 2 goals.
Only because in the return fixture.
Because in the return fixture, your one goal is only 1 goal. So let's say, hypothetically, Liverpool and Arsenal were playing a knockout fixture. In the first leg, it was at the Emirates, and Liverpool win 2-1. The aggregate is 2-1, right? But in the next... Actually, no, that doesn't really actually make sense.
It's not 2 goals. It's 1.5,
It's
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not 2 goals, but essentially if you win your home leg 2-1...
Yep.
And then the other team wins their home leg 1-0. It's 2-2.
Yes.
But they got the away goal.
Bang, bingo.
But if you
There
have
it
the
is.
same...
See, you actually ended up explaining it.
But if you have the same amount of goals and away goals, then it goes to extra time.
Correct.
Yes.
That's right.
I hope the listeners are ready for our educational videos to start dropping on YouTube.
Yeah, because
soon.
that was fucking
We're-
horrendous.
we're here
We'll
to
edit that
explain
out a little bit,
everything.
Ben, when you get to that point.
Nah, fuck knows.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right.
So it makes it authentic.
So the away goal rule was actually scrapped a couple of seasons ago, I believe.
Yeah.
Why?
And that is the question. It begs the question as to why did that happen? Because it created so much drama in that second game, didn't it?
Mm.
And ultimately, you want to be home in that second game.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you want that home game.
Was the away goal rule enforced when Barca came to Anfield?
Yep, it was.
It was, eh?
It was, yep, it was. Because during the game, there was a tweet that Barcelona sent out saying, we need 1 and Liverpool need 5 and we'll score 1. And the end score was 4-0. Yeah.
It's interesting because it was scrapped because they felt it was inappropriate for an away goal to carry more weight than a home goal being scored.
See, I think it gives more weight to if you're away in the first leg. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, because if you went somewhere and won 2-0,
You can
then
come
they have to
home and
come
park
back.
the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need, you can get a 0-0 and you're good.
Mm.
But I guess the same is true even today. Porto carry a 1-0 lead going to the Emirates. They can go park the bus for 90 minutes. They can put 11
They
players.
will do.
Yeah.
You betcha they will do,
Yeah.
and it's up to Arsenal to actually try and break through the lines there. But the same holds true. Like Porto can go and
I think the
put on a defensive masterclass.
But I think the difference is like that's a tight game. That would make for a good game. But I think more the point is that if you're too far away, like too far ahead, so say if you're 2-3 goals up, and as the away team in the first leg, and then you come back, like you've already got the home advantage, you've already got the away goal advantage. It kind of like it's demoralising because if you don't have a hot start, then the game can be killed quickly. So I think I can see the logic in what they're trying to do.
yeah,
Or what they've done. They've done it, haven't they?
they've done it because it no longer exists, right? And now the first game and the second, or the first leg and the second leg is the same.
The question is, do you think the Champions League has gotten worse over the last couple of years since they've changed that rule? And if so, do you actually think it's because of the away goal rule or because of the teams becoming more powerful and it doesn't get as competitive until deeper into the tournament?
I absolutely think it's the latter. It's got nothing to do with the away goal rule.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I think you look at the teams and you know already going in. Firstly, there's 32 teams. They're extending it next year. So there's going to be even more teams in the competition. But you already know, looking when you have 32 teams, who the final 8 are going to be or who they should be.
Yep.
And most of the time, it is who they are.
Yeah.
Right? Like it is...
You're going to be 90% right.
Correct. And you might get that
Minimum.
one,
Yeah.
that is an upset. Arsenal making it to the round of 16.
Yeah, funny. It is kind of interesting because like you'd think a couple of years ago you'd see Napoli versus Barcelona and you'd think, oh yeah, that's juicy. I can't wait to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really look at that and think, oh, I'm excited. And same with like Dortmund and PSV. I'm kind of like, 2 second tier teams going at it.
Fair enough.
That's very true.
That's true for you. But you've also got to think about the fans that those teams represent. And that's a
very
huge
true.
thing for them, Ben.
Yeah.
Representing their club and their country in the Champions League is a massive thing for them. So
Yeah.
I think you've got a point, but it's limited because it's not fair when you don't account for the people that are actually there.
But if you
celebrating there.
look at it from a neutral standpoint as well, though, like that statement holds true.
I agree.
Because
I think it does as a neutral.
it does. When you look at an overall fixture list and you think about how you used to look at things, I know everything's wonderful in hindsight versus that. I get it with the fans.
Yeah.
But compared to where they were kind of, 5-10 years ago, even like 4 years ago with Dortmund, maybe you've like, I'm excited to see them play. And now it's, okay, they're going to be underdogs. They've got Marco Reus that's held together with sticky tape. And
that's fair enough, but everyone goes through moments because 5 years ago you wouldn't be saying you want to watch a Leverkusen game, and now look.
What you're going to say, Arsenal, because they wouldn't be anywhere near it.
Fair enough. And I know that Leverkusen aren't actually in the Champions League this season, but they definitely will be next season. But at this point in time, people want to watch Leverkusen. 5 years ago, people may want to have watched Dortmund.
I agree. I do think teams change, like the teams that have the buzz change, but I feel like there are less teams that have that you want to watch.
That's not what I'm debating. I'm on about overall. There used to be more in terms of quality, or maybe it's a more even playing field is probably the thing to look at here.
But even still, Ben, do you think that is true? Because you look at the early 2000s and it was the likes of AC Milan really who dominated, right, because of the team. You then look at the 2010s and then you have Cristiano Ronaldo and the Messi rivalry, and it was Barcelona and Real Madrid that dominated the Champions League. And we've now moved into a period where it is the English teams that are dominating.
True. This also makes you wonder if the format changing for next year for the Champions League format is actually going to work. Because if they're splitting into this league that more of the top teams don't play, potentially lesser, or because all the top teams aren't going to just play each other from the off, which is
true.
How they want to create their hybrid Super League to make more money and to squeeze more out. It's a bit of a compromise really, or to hold the Super League back a little bit, but it just makes you wonder where the quality is going.
Yeah, I think
how it impacts the product.
I think it's fair enough. You're right. There are definitely a few Champions League beasts, if you will, or for lack of a better word, where you know that they're going to be a dominant force in the competition. But in saying that, I think it is also nice to, going back to the point about fans, sure, we'll leave that aside, but it's also nice to have these little teams with a chance to even go to the likes of these bigger teams for the purposes of scouting themselves for players. Imagine an opportunity to go play at Old Trafford or the Etihad or the Emirates, For the players, it's a huge thing as well. So it gives the players an opportunity to go impress and show their skills in front of bigger crowds that they may not get the opportunity to do in smaller leagues and smaller countries.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that. I'm just taking that part out of it and just looking from a neutral.
But even still, from a neutral perspective, it depends on how much you love the product. Your neutral is you want to see the best teams play, right? Where someone who loves football and just wants to watch football will watch football for the sake of it.
True.
So your threshold is there, but someone else's might be somewhere else. And in your perspective, you just want to watch the big teams play because that's all you care about.
I just want to watch good football. And if it's just
Fair
one-sided all the time, it's not good football.
Fair enough. But also, Ben, good football is Arsenal versus Porto. That was a good match.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, you guys are the favourites. You should have gone to Porto and you should have put on a job and beat them. But the beauty of the Champions League is a team like Porto, who, sure, they're pretty good in their domestic competition, but they can't even come close to the quality of Arsenal.
But they did.
They did.
They were the better. They were the better team.
Yeah, 100%. So that's what I'm saying. So it gives opening up the competition to more teams, gives the opportunity for more teams to come and prove themselves. It comes back, Ben, to the same conversation that we had about the FA Cup and about what the FA Cup does to the smaller teams. And if you have a Super League, it takes away from the FA Cup. It's the same thing as introducing these smaller teams into the Champions League, right? Gives them the same opportunity that the FA Cup gives the smaller teams in England, just on a bigger scale.
Yeah, maybe. It's just interesting.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely. And
interesting to see
it's actually a very interesting debate from something that we didn't necessarily think would hold much substance. So I'm glad that it has.
And I'm also for bringing Golden Goal back. I want the Jeopardy.
Yeah, Golden Goal was fun.
Do you reckon that would stop the park and the bus?
Oh, absolutely.
You reckon?
You'd have, yeah, of course.
Well, they'd have to go for it.
Yeah, you're going to have to play expansive football because the jeopardy of losing because a goal is conceded is the game is done. You don't have time to play. So the golden goal rule is a fantastic rule. Does it exist in any kind of domestic or international football today?
Nah, it's gone.
And is there any reason as to why they scrapped it?
I actually don't know why they scrapped it. I just remember it being upsetting when they did. Okay, so we'd bring back golden goal. Does everyone agree on golden goal?
Yeah, fun.
I like golden goal.
What about away goals?
There's something nostalgic about away goals.
Agreed.
And that's probably what would sway me to agree with bringing them back.
Agreed.
Just like hearing a commentator say, they've dropped the points, but they secured the all-important away goal.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like that just...
It's nostalgic.
Brings back some memes, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I think so. And it just makes the game so interesting. It puts a lot of weight on that away leg.
Yeah.
Right? Where teams would maybe want to go park the bus, it may give them an opportunity to go and play more expensive football.
Yeah.
Because there's more there. There's more on offer. Yeah?
Agreed.
So, yeah, I was all for it. But in saying that, I don't think it has affected the game.
Okay.
What about you? What are your thoughts as you type away?
So I was trying to look at the new format. I don't know. I don't think it makes much difference.
Yeah.
I don't know. There is something about it. It makes you a bit nervous, a bit more nervous.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I'm for it.
It's like in that first leg, you're at home, you're winning 2-0, but you can't give away a goal because of the weight that goal has.
Yeah.
In those moments, so it's like that those in-game moments and in-game opportunities that it changes the mentality of the players, which makes it more interesting. And I think that's ultimately what it is.
It's going to be so fucking weird next year.
Why?
Just this whole system. We'll go over it in another pod. Maybe it's a time to wrap it up there while there's some nice nostalgic thoughts of the Champions League before it's all changed and we're debating how this works next year and how we miss everything.
Yeah, we can save that for another day.
Just quickly, right? Coming back to my question about Arsenal and foregoing one for the other. Knowing that the competition's increasing, which decreases your chances going forward in the Champions League, does that sway your mind in one or the other?
I said it in an earlier pod that I would want to win the Champions League because of they're changing the system.
So now knowing that it's Klopp's last year and it's the last year of this system, which one would you take and which one would you forego?
I'd take the Premier League, and then I'd say, and then I'd turn around and say, "Well, we just won a 36-team Champions League. You ain't won one of those yet, you fuckers." We were just waiting until it was harder.
Oh, that's funny. That was a great answer to that question.
I fucking love that. That's so good.
I'm prepared.
Yeah.
We'll never get there. We'll bottle it in the quarters to Porto.
or Bayern in the semis.
Nah, because I'm gonna put in a word and say keep hold of Tuchel just in case we need a favour down the line.
Just quickly. Did you see the craziness that Ole could be the one to replace him?
I did see that.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that, really quickly?
That's insanity.
Insane. Although Ole didn't do a bad job at United. Is that a controversial thought?
No, he wasn't. He didn't do. I didn't think he did that bad.
Okay, so who's better, Ole or Ten Hag? Yeah, agreed. What about you? Stru? Who's better manager?
Out of?
Ole at the wheel or Eric Ten has no idea? Hag.
Well, I guess we have to put it in Man U context, don't we?
Yeah, because if you put into
Ajax.
previous, he
Purely
was very
Man
good
U.
at that. Yeah,
Purely Man U.
Man U, you'd say Ole, yeah. Ole Gunner. I think stats would back that up, surely.
Funnily enough, I think stats
Maybe
actually
Ten Hag
point the other
really?
way.
Yeah.
I think he's got a higher win percentage.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the controversy doesn't help him, does it? And just some of the dumb shit which goes on there.
Yeah, it's the controversy. It's the way that he treats his players, but it's also just from the get-go, coming and saying Dynasty is it there to be ended and all this. Like, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, agreed.
And now you're the laughing stock because you're not the one to end an era. It's the truth. Like, the era's done because old mate Klopp's decided to walk away.
Old mate Klopp.
Guess he is old mate now. Or not yet, but he will be soon. It's like a breakup, I'm telling you.
On that note, I see you getting teary. So on that note, should we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Yep. Like, subscribe, follow, do whatever you can.
Share with family and friends.
Send us abuse if you want.
Yes.
Please don't abuse us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not the abuse. But yeah, thank you very much.
The abuse, and we'll see you next week.
We shall.